Here we go. Welcome to the Hip Hop Hustle podcast. I am back for another week with a fantastic artist, the one and only Serious Klein. For someone who has serious in his name, he's not that serious. You seem to be pretty down to earth, my friend. So I am thankful for that. You never really know what you're going to get, but man, yeah, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And you most recently, for people who have been following you, you did the colors. You had a single come out. I think it was called Peekaboo that came out. So that was dope. But yeah, man, absolute pleasure to have you come through.
Thanks for having me, man. Thank you so much.
Now, I'm going to start out the gate with colors because, I mean, people are always interested. I'm interested. I follow it all the time. Your first one was actually in 2018. So this isn't a new thing for you. So I'm interested to know, when you did the first one, how did that happen? Because it was called 91 Flex and it was fire, you go hard. But how did that come about? Like, how did that even become a thing? Like, that was 5 years ago when you first did that.
The first colors I did was actually in 2016.
Oh,
So I already did
2016.
like 3 sessions. Yeah,
Damn.
2016. The first one was called Party with the Squad. And they texted me on Facebook back then. That's when everything started with colors and that. And the head was like, yo, we're starting this platform, this thing. It's called Colors. And we want you to be on board. And the first thing I did was like I left them on read because I was like, I don't know what it is. So I don't want to do it. So I was also on tour with the Underachievers. So I was like, bro, I ain't got no time for that right now. And then my manager was like, you know what? It looks like a promising situation. Let's do that. It looks dope. So I was like, okay. On to like I was on tour and then we got there, right? And I did the first performance. I performed like 3 songs, you know? And the first like the one that we liked the most was Party with the Squad. That was the first situation that kind of went viral, like back then. And then we became friends. I became friends with the founders of Colors, and they kept me in the loop about everything that happened. Because after that, like it took off. You know, that's when I did 91 Flex for the album. Like I was doing the album back then, and I did 91 Flex for the album. It was part of the album, right? So I already did like 3 color sessions officially.
Officially, man, you're a veteran of colors.
Yeah, I am. Like when I did Peekaboo, when I went to the new studio, everybody was like, "Oh my God, we're so happy to have you. You're one of the artists that made colors what it is now and stuff like that." And I was pretty honored because like I seen like colors from the early days and not like how it is now. It's crazy. It's crazy to witness that. Like it's mad.
When you did it, could you feel where it could go? Like when you did the first time, did you were you like, okay, I see this now? Or was it still like very much new?
Um, in terms of my career or colors.
Well, number one, both, but for colors. Like I always find it interesting, like, because you're an artist, you will get asked
hmm
to do lots of things. And some
hmm
things you'll do and nothing happens with
hmm
whatever platform it is or whoever's organizing it. And then there are other things you'll do and it just takes off. So I'm interested to know when you did
Yeah.
colors, could you see that it had potential?
Yeah. When I went into the studio, like the very first studio they had, right, wasn't like it was. I'm even sure if I'm allowed to say it. But the very first studio they had was like in a small house, you know, and they really like painted the studio like for every performance they painted the studio with their hands.
Wow.
So I got there, I met the founders, and like the way we vibed and all of that, right? Was like I really liked them after the performance, and that's when they convinced me. That's when they convinced me that it's going to be a big thing. And then when I did the performance, I was like, okay, let me do another one. Let me do another one. So when the first one came out, everybody was like, okay, you want to drop the second too? I was like, nah, let's wait, because that's when I realized, okay, it's going to be a big thing. And then 2 years later, which was in 2018, it was already a big thing. Everybody went to Colors. They got investors in and everything, like they started working with labels and started working with brands and all of that. So I was like, you know what? Let me save this for later because I'm working on the album and this could probably help. So the second color session that I did was like I didn't expect anything. I just did the performance. Oh, no. You know what happened? I went there and I did another performance for the album. And we all agreed on the fact that we didn't like it. The founders, myself, my whole team. I did a whole performance for one song of the album. It's called Boy
Why?
Boy. And everybody was
Why?
like, nah,
Why didn't you like it?
we didn't like it. We didn't like the performance. And it felt like we didn't chose the right song. So I was like, let's wait. Let me do another song. So then I feel like 1 month later, I came back with 91 Flex and everybody was like, yeah, that's that song. And I had like friends in the UK who have a brand that's called Pack and then they sent me this crazy outfit. So I was already in the studio and everybody was like, okay, we gotta start soon, Siri. We gotta start soon. I was like, I'm still waiting for the outfit. And then as soon as I had the outfit, started the performance, everyone's like, yeah, that's it. But when it came out, I was like, I'm not sure if it's gonna hit like that. You always start with doubts. That's how I started. And then as soon as it came out, it was like, boom. Everybody was on my page. I had like 3,000 followers. 5 days later, I had like 10K. It was crazy. It was mad. So yeah. It was like it turned out to be a very, very big thing. Like I said, I'm still like very, very good with the owners. Like we're friends. With the CEO, like it's like my family. Like pretty good people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer in people who start from the ground up and they find a way,
Right.
especially dealing with artists such as yourself and the caliber of artists that they get. The only way they can do that is by being good people and having great
Right.
relationships.
Right.
You mentioned something interesting, which is you always start with doubt. That is a really interesting mindset as an artist to start with doubt consistently. What does that do to your
Yeah.
art?
Um, I mean, like you have there has to be a balance, man. Like with becoming an artist and becoming the artist that you want to be, you have to be balanced, man. Because the most important things are the people around you. Like you have to have people around you that support your vision and that really, 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 really support your music. Like they have to be honest. Um, they have to be supporting, as I already said. Because sometimes you're gonna make a song and you'll be like, I'm not sure if this is gonna hit. I'm not sure if this is the one. And that's how it went down with the color session because like I was so I was pretty local with everything I did, right? And this was like the first moment where I was getting out to the world, you know? That's I was like kind of having doubts because I was like, okay, what would people think? What will they think about the outfit? How is the performance gonna hit? Will they like it? Stuff like that. And I feel like it's a normal thing, but you have to be balanced. You have to believe in your music yourself. You have to be like, yo, I know this is the shit. I know this what I'm doing is fire. So that's why I said like you have to be balanced. And when it comes to doubts, it shouldn't be doubts that are keeping you away from releasing music. Doubts that I don't know, like doubts that's not going to make you drop music. You have to be doubtful in a way that, okay, can I do this or that better? And that's it. Like if you're too doubtful, it's like you got to work on it, bro. You got
Yeah.
to work on it. You got to believe in yourself and you got to believe in your music.
Well, because I 100% agree with you. You can't stop yourself from not releasing things. Because
Right.
and
Right.
and I think a lot of prospective artists, that's their fear. They're scared of releasing stuff. Like
Yeah.
they have a catalog. I have no doubt that there are people who listen to this show who make music and have never
Hmm.
released it. I know
Right.
I am almost willing to bet on the fact that there are people like that. I think what
Yeah.
people forget is like number one, no one cares because like
Hmm.
if it's shit, no one's going to listen to it. So
Right.
Like, you don't have to worry about that. And number two, you won't know the truth until people listen to it and you get feedback
That's it.
from the market.
That's it. That's it. And I also feel like you shouldn't care too much about that. Like you should just put it out. At the end of the day, it's just like you said it. Like if they don't like it, they're not gonna listen to it. You know? And like if you're too much in your head when it comes to the music and it keeps you away from like dropping music, it's not gonna do anything but to destroy your career, just to destroy the journey. And I was in my head a lot, you know. I always felt like I wasn't doubtful, but it was more of a, yo, let me wait until I release this because this is fire, you know? And then most of the times it lost the momentum, you know? Most of the times when I kept the hardest stuff from the world, already started new stuff and it wasn't the right momentum to drop it, you know? So I started like sitting on a lot of tons of music, you know? So right now I know for a fact that, yo, just put it out, just put it out. Just be consistent. Just put the music out, you know. That's something I've learned in the last 3 years, to be honest, because I'm sitting on a lot of music, and like I'm pretty happy with what I'm releasing now and with the project I'm working on, like I've worked on now, but yeah, there was a lot of music that didn't make it.
It's so interesting though, that like you're waiting for the right
Yeah.
time and you waited too long.
Yeah, that's what you think. That's what you think. You think there has to be the right time to release this. There has to be the right time to release that. There has to be the right opportunity to release this. You don't know if you would have put it out, how people would have reacted. You don't know that because you didn't release it. It could have changed your career, but you didn't release it. And I feel like this is a sickness every artist has at some point in their career. You have to put it out at the end of the day. You like if you know this is fire, drop it. Just drop it. Don't keep it away from the world because at some point it's outdated. You gotta start like you gotta refresh the beat. You gotta like you don't rap like that no more. You don't sound like that no more. So when you want to put out, like it's like you keeping it away from the world and it's not gonna do anything but harm you in your career. So now I know like I overcame the sickness. I know you gotta put it out. You gotta put it out. Like by any means, you gotta put it out.
You know, the funny thing is, people will listen to this and be like, yeah, but man, it's easy for you to say, just put it out because you've overcome it and you've overcome the
Yeah.
sickness. But how did you overcome it? What
Hmm.
did you need to do to be able to be like, you know what? I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of having these songs. I'm sick of feeling like I need the right time and then I never have the right time and they never come out. Like, what did you
Hmm.
do to overcome that feeling? Like you said, it was 3 years ago. I mean, you've been an artist for a long time, so it must have been on your mind
Hmm.
for a long time as well.
Hmm. I grew, like I grew as a person, because I felt like me, I'm an independent artist for years, like, and nobody's gonna wait for you. There's no like in my situation, there was no label pressuring me. It was myself, you know, and it was always like, how can I explain it? It was always like, okay, I need a hard video for this, I need this for that, and as soon as I realized 2 years were gone, you know, and I was already like not consistently releasing music. And if I would have released the music that I had back then, it would have helped my career in a different way. So you gotta at some point you gotta sit down. You gotta realize what do you want for your career? Like where do you want this to go? Like, do you want to be big? Do you want to gain? How do you want this to end? And if the fear of releasing music still overcomes the fact that you want to make it in the music industry, you should think about that. And that's what I did. Like I had a moment with myself. Like the last 3 years was like ups and downs when it comes to the music, when it comes to my private life and stuff like that. So I was like, I want this to go somewhere. I can't like continue to sit on music and not release it if I really want this to go somewhere. And that's what made me change my mind. Of course, like everybody's going through a different process when it comes to that, but that was my process because I knew I want this to go somewhere. Like I was going in circles, like, okay, I already did this, I did that, and like I felt like I kind of felt stuck, you know, and I wanted like my career, like fans and everything. I wanted to grow. So I was like, man, I have to overcome that fear. I have to. There's no other choice. If I really want this to grow up, if I really want this to go somewhere, I have to overcome it. And that's it.
So was it the fear of failure that was holding you back?
Oh, most stuff. It wasn't even the fear of failure, only that. It was also it is so good. I want it to be perfect. I want everybody to listen to it. You know, I was like when I spoke to labels, you know, like 2019, I spoke to a lot of labels. I was playing the music that I'm not like that like I didn't release until this day. I was playing, and everybody was like, "This is fire. This is hard. This is fire," but I didn't release it. You know, and as soon as I realized it wasn't even my momentum, it wasn't even. It didn't even feel right to put it out because it wasn't the momentum. It wasn't what was going on in my life in that moment. So I started something new, you know? So yeah. Now, like I said, now I know it's like, bro, just release it. Just release it, you know, just put it out. Now I feel like I'm happy to release music because I haven't put out music in almost 3 years, 2 years. You know, the last time I put something out was in 2021. We're going 2024 now, you know. So now I feel like I want to share everything that I have, you know, because I forgot how it felt to release music at some point. And now it's like, okay, I want to drop everything, you know? It's because it's a beautiful feeling too.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Would you drop your 2019 music
Yeah.
now?
You know what? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Not all of it, but the most of the stuff is still fire. You know, the most of the stuff is still like I've worked on a project that's called Love Always. And it was about like my family and yo, I recorded I recorded a bunch of heart songs, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. And they're still fire because with everything we do when it comes to music, it has to be timeless. So I could drop it in 2010, but I could also drop it in 2024. You know, of course, there has to like that we got to like do a few tweaks when it comes to the productions and everything. But I could still drop it, and I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna drop like a lot of music that I didn't release.
Well, man, I don't know. I had an idea that came to my head as soon as you said you're willing to. And I mean, you could do a whole album of like old music and then up like new music where like you talk about the same thing and it's almost titled Old Me and New Me, where it's like, this was my opinion on these things in 2019. It doesn't have to be
Hmm.
specifically, but it was like, this used to be my opinion on this. This is how I felt.
Hmm.
Time's
Hmm.
passed, and now this is how I feel about the very same thing. And it's, I don't know, I just had the idea of like, because you've got so
Yeah.
much, you could do a contrast album where you're like, oh, this is my evolution and growth. So it stays true to you because that's the
Hmm.
fear of
Hmm.
like, am I talking about things that are no longer me? But if you're talking
Right.
about things that used to be you and now you're reflecting back on your old thoughts, you all of a sudden have this like really cool journey that you can explore.
Yeah. I was about to do something similar because I wanted to. It's called songs that never made it to the album because now obviously I got an album coming up, and I'm going to shoot because I'm like I love to visualize everything I do, right? And I'm going to shoot like small visuals to all the songs. I'm going to release them like little by little. That's what I wanted to do, probably before the album comes. And it's kind of like the same situation. It's kind of like, okay, this is back then. This is what I thought back then, and this is what it is now. Even sonically, when it comes to my music, it's different now. You know, like back then it was all about like the flow and the skills, you know. Now it's more about what I say because the last 3 years was like I said, it was an up and down. And now it's like, okay, now I want y'all to like I want y'all to listen, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna do something like that.
Hey man, well, as I said, I don't make my own music. It's easy for me to go, hey, you should do this. Welcome to every fan that has
Yeah.
ever existed is like, hey, Sari, can you make music like this? So I just exhibited that behavior, but I genuinely like I oh see, even Siri was like talking to me. But yeah, I think, man, it's exciting to have your energy back and for you to be like, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's
Yeah.
always like, it's always difficult to see artists you like and respect go through the ups and downs. But to
Right.
be able to see you come out of it and be able to drop an album and drop projects, I think that's what every one of your fans wants.
Yeah. 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 I mean, like, I feel like times really changed. You know, like it's all the new algorithms and everything is different now. Like 2000, it started with the pandemic when you had a moment like everybody was at home. Everybody was at home. So people were like paying a different type of attention, you know? I remember like I dropped something like what's the name of that platform again? Thriller or something. I did something on Thriller, like I dropped a video where I was like at home rapping, and it was like everybody was on it. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is crazy," because everybody was at home and paid like everybody paid a different type of attention. Now it's like the way people are paying attention is very short, you know. So you gotta adjust to what's new now, and that was something for me. I was like, oh, this is new. Like you cannot just drop something. You got to work with the algorithm. You got to know what to post, when to post it, how many times I got to post it, how many times I got to post that. It's not what it was, you know. Even when it comes to the streaming services, when it comes to like the streaming platforms, when it comes to Spotify, when it comes to Apple Music, it's not what it was. You really got to be like on there to be heard when it comes to releasing music now, and that's different, you know. But yeah, I'm pushing through. Like I really want to release this music, and it feels good to be back in terms of music, and feels good to be back and like kind of going back to my roots because I was like I said, I'm a very visual guy. I direct my music videos. I write the scripts. What else? I used to take pictures a lot, you know, and yeah, like now I'm kind of back to that, you know, and it feels good.
That's
It
great,
feels
man.
good.
Can I ask you? You said you had ups and downs. And I'm going to ask you two questions.
Hmm.
I'm interested to know the lowest point in the last 3 years, but also the highest point in the last 3 years. And the reason I ask for both is because I think a lot of people focus on the lowest and they forget the highest.
Hmm.
And it's almost like, as you said, you had a bit of a roller coaster. And if you're open to
Hmm.
sharing, of course.
Yeah, most stuff. The lowest point. You want me to start with the lowest or the
Up
highest?
to you, man. It's your story.
The highest was like when my daughters were born. That was like the highest, you know, like when my girls were born. And the lowest was as an artist who makes a lot of money and who's making like I'm not gonna lie, I was making money, you know, like and as an artist who makes a lot of money, take care of your taxes. That's something nobody talks about, you know, like not the way they should, right? So take care of your taxes. Yo, be behind your taxes. If you can write a lot of shit off, write it off, you know? Because that's something that happens to every artist. They're gonna break your neck. If you don't take care of your taxes, it's gonna break your neck. And that happens to me, you know? Like I was paying a lot of taxes, a lot of taxes. So that kind of took me out of the game, took me out of the music because I was like really focused on getting rid of that first, you know? And that was the lowest point because it came out of nowhere, you know? So right now, that's one advice I would give to every artist starting like with this music thing. Be behind your taxes. Be smart about it, you know? Spend your money in a way that you can write a lot of stuff off. Spend your money smart, you know? That's the thing. So that's like the highest point was when my daughter's like the highest point gave me enough strength to push through and conquer the lowest point. So yeah, the highs and the lows.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, you could have easily said your highest point is a moment in your career, but your highest point was family and
Yeah, bro.
loved ones. And that is always interesting
Mhm.
to me because you start to realize when you think about that what really is important in
Right,
your life.
right, right. That's it. That's the point. Because you know what? I realized, and I went to like so many events. I done like met so many people, and I shook so many hands in the last 3 years to realize that wealth money is not being rich. It's family, bro. It's family because they are the ones keep like holding me down. Like in situations where I was like, I don't want to do this no more. Like this music thing is not. It's I feel like it's not paying off. You know, my family, like my wife, my kids were the ones who were like, you cannot give up. This is you. This is the destiny. This is your purpose. So that's how I realized all the money in the world. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, money is a good thing. Let's not lie about that. But all the good things in the world and all the material things, family always gonna outweigh that. It's always gonna be the highest thing if you realize it and if you appreciate it. It's always gonna be the highest thing ever. So yeah, family,
Yeah.
family, bro.
There's a great quote that I love, and it's about, no one has ever said on their deathbed, I wish I worked more.
Yeah.
The things
You see?
you look back on are actually the simple stuff in your life, the meals you
Right,
had with people you
right,
love, the moments
right,
with people you trust and that came for you.
right,
Those are the things you look back on, and
right.
the rest is like a benefit. As you said, money is
Mm-hmm,
great. It's a facilitator of all the things you want
mm-hmm,
to do in your life. And ideally, it facilitates your
mm-hmm,
ability to look after your family and support them. But also,
mm-hmm.
I think we get lost in that. I definitely get lost in that. I get lost in
Right.
pursuing my career and wanting success, and then coming home and
Mm-hmm,
being upset and annoyed at something that happened at my job. But then I'm annoyed and I take it out on people I love and care about. And it's like, I need to be
mm-hmm.
doing it the other way around. They deserve my love and,
Right,
and affection rather than the other way around.
right, 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 right. That's like makes total sense to me. Like now it makes total sense to me because like before that I was on the road heavy. Like from 216 to 219, I wasn't even at home. Like I was on the road like every week. So I was very shallow with a lot of things, that happened around me. So 2020 was the year when I was like forced to pay a lot of attention. And I was like, yo, this happened and my mom got this habit. My girlfriend back then, now my wife, got this habit. How come I never realized? Because I wasn't like I wasn't paying enough attention. And then now it's like this is my daily routine. I know what's going on. I know when my daughter say this is what she means. I know when my wife or my mom or my brothers, sisters, whoever are doing this and that. I know why, because in that time I started to get to know them. And you got to realize that somebody you know your whole life can still be a stranger to you because you were shallow with getting to know them, you know? And now like the pandemic came through, you got to stay at home, you got to pay attention, you forced to pay attention. So it really helped me to realize that family is the highest medium ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you said it better than anyone could.
thanks.
Can I
Thanks, bro.
ask you, with the taxes and paying taxes, was it
Hmm.
backdated taxes, or was it just realizing that you were just paying an
Nah,
exorbitant
backdated
amount?
stuff.
Backdated.
Backdated stuff. Messy stuff, like you gotta be on it. Messy work when it comes to messy. Like it was messy. Everybody like because I was on the road a lot, because I was getting money, like you spent money a lot. It's not even the habit of spending it, it's like being behind it because it can get like carried away super fast, especially when you're on the road, especially when you're not really at home. So you write an invoice, the money comes in, you're on the road, you write another invoice, the money comes in, you're on the road, so you don't take care of that. I'm telling you right now, if I would have done that, my life would have been different. Like now it's getting back to normal and I thank God for it. But at that moment, like let's say 2021, 2022, I paid a lot of taxes. And I feel like, yo, I'm making all this money and almost all of it because it was backdated. Almost all of it is going it's going to the tax office, you know. So it's like, it broke me. I'm telling you, like it really, really, really like gave me a lot of mental stuff that I never expected to go through. And now like since I'm behind it, I'm like, it's not that hard, you know, but it's super important. It's super important because like even if you sign a deal and you're like new to it, you know, you're new to the game and you sign a deal, you get all that money. They're not gonna tell you, half of it is taxes. So you better be smart in spending the money that you have right now. They're not gonna tell you that, you know. Every artist colleague that I have is telling me the same. They are going through the same stuff when it comes to taxes. You know, and I feel like, right now, like even on the album, it's a few times I'm talking about taxes. You know, I have like this one song from J. Cole that I love so much because I feel like he wrote it for me in its brackets. You know, where he talks about taxes. You spending all your money and you getting all that money, you're gonna give away half. Nobody talks about that. And I feel like, especially as musicians, we got to talk about that way more. Way
Yeah.
more.
And
So
if
yeah,
you're on a
it was
label,
like they didn't.
the other half is a loan.
Right.
They don't talk about
That's the
that
point.
either. That like it's
That's the
upfront
point.
money that you haven't recouped yet.
Mhm.
So like you
Yeah,
need
you gotta
to,
recoup it too.
you got to recoup it on album sales. And if you don't, guess what? You bet
Right.
they're charging interest on that. They're not just, it's not a charity.
Mm-hmm.
So like I cannot agree more. And it's funny because people are pro taxes until they earn money.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, fuck that. I work really hard for all of it. And you get half.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Yeah.
I worked really hard
That's it.
for it. I took all the risks and now I give you
Yeah.
half of it. Like it's such a weird
Yeah.
thing to experience when you get your paycheck and you're like, oh, half of this is gone. I practically work for the government half the week because they take half of it.
Yeah, bro. It's mad. Like as soon as you realize it's like this is really happening, like, isn't this a crime to be honest? Like, because I feel like the many times I was jumping on the stage, many times I was standing in the snow because of like photo shootings and all that stuff. And now you're taking half of it. It's crazy, bro. It's super crazy, but yeah, it is. I guess it is what it is. I
But
guess it is
then
what it is.
it's one thing to take half, but then they tax you on other things. So GST, here in
Right.
Australia, goods and services tax. So you pay tax on every purchase that you have. You purchase gas or
Yeah.
petrol, there's additional tax. So, and it's like, I already paid my
Crazy.
tax and now
That's
I pay
crazy.
more tax to buy
Yeah.
the stuff with half the money that I paid tax on. So I'm getting double
Yeah.
taxed. Like when I think about it, it gets me annoyed because I'm like, I keep paying tax. All my money's going to tax, let alone just trying
Yeah.
to live life. So yeah, man, I feel you.
Yeah.
Anyone gets me riled up, it's on
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah. You see. I mean, like it's like a never-ending story, and like I said, everybody goes through that, but not everybody talks about it. You know, so yeah,
But we're not going to have that problem. This
for
show's
sure.
going to turn into the tax show. You're going to be on every week going, hey, this is how I cleaned up my act. This is how I'm doing it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be a show like that, to be honest, because I feel like, every other week is like, oh man, I gotta pay this or that. Like every time when I talk to somebody, especially like my engineer, like who's like one of my best friends, every time when we talk, it's always the same conversation. Yeah, I had to pay this, I had to pay that. It's always the same conversation. So it's kind of funny, but it's also like we got to find a way to just be free when it comes to that. Like to just be smart about, like I said, smart about spending money and yeah, letting people know how to do it best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to study some billionaires a little bit more. They know the tricks. They know the
Yeah, I think
tricks.
so. They know the trace, man. I think so. I think so. We got to do that though.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this because this is something that I've wondered. Your background isn't exactly a typical hip hop story. You
Nah.
you're in Germany, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I don't associate that with a heavy hip hop scene. When I think of the best rappers, I don't go straight to Germany. But how
Mm-hmm.
was it growing up and being like, this is a journey I want to take in a country that is essentially not particularly familiar with hip hop, especially when you're young? I mean, now a lot of people tour and a lot of people are getting out there, but how was it growing up and wanting to take this musical journey in Germany?
The thing with Germany is that a lot of people think that there's like a heavy hip hop scene in Germany, and the music is like the German rap is so the language is so dominant that like like for example, me myself, I don't consider myself like a German. I'm a Ghanaian kid based in Germany because I grew up with a different language. I grew up with a different culture. The way I greet people is not the way German kids greet people. Like I grew up with the Ghanaian culture. And back then when I grew up, it was more of a, we were listening to English rap in Germany. It wasn't as dominant as it is now. We were like listening to Pac. We were like the US rap was very dominant back then in Germany until the German rap scene grew, to what it is now. So I grew up with English rap. I grew up with like as I said, I'm from Ghana, so we speak English, we speak Tree, and I grew up with those languages. Spent a little time when I was a baby. I spent a little time in Ghana as well. And I always had cousins from the States, cousins from the UK, So I was like super in touch with the language already. I was super in touch with the music. I was listening to Sway when I was like, I don't know, Sway, the Sappho. I don't even know how old I was. I was listening to Skepta when I was like 14. So it was always pretty familiar to me. I grew up with that scene because my cousins and my aunts and my mom was heavy on music and they brought it to me, you know? So it was like me growing up when it comes to music was different from you growing up now when it comes to music, in Germany. So it was always clear that I wanted to do it in English. I always wanted my grandma to understand me. I always wanted my cousins and my family to understand me. So I started like rapping in English. Also, it's like I'm traveling a lot. I'm in UK a lot. I went to the States a lot. So it was always clear that this is what I want to do. Now I can say that because people like often misunderstand that I'm not making music to be successful in Germany. I want to be successful internationally, and Germany is not international. Germany is Germany, and I feel like Germany, everybody knows that the language and the scene is so dominant. I don't feel like you're gonna make it as an English speaking artist in Germany. You're not gonna make it because it's too dominant. We got way too many successful German rappers, you know. So we're not really. This is not the right place for this music, and I know that people's always gonna be like, oh yeah, but why do you like why are you doing it like in English and why are you still based in Germany? I know. I don't want to do it in English. My family's here. And I used to do a lot of back and forth. Like I said, I used to talk a lot of international labels when I went to LA and stuff like that. So I know this is not made for Germany. I know that for a fact. But yeah, that's what it is. Like as soon as there's like a real situation, I'll dip. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll dip. Because I know this music is not gonna have a future in this country. I know that for a fact. And I also feel like once I made it somewhere else, that's when Germany is going to claim me as German. This is how that's how Germans are.
Well, the
You
good
know?
thing is, my friend, they can't claim you. You can just claim
Yeah.
yourself.
Right. 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 That's the thing. That's the thing. Because I always, like I said, it's not that I dislike Germany. That's not what it is. It's more of a I didn't grow up in that culture. I grew up I grew up very Ghanaian. Like I grew up with the language, like I said, the family and the manners and everything. I grew up very differently. So that's why I always say like I'm from Ghana. When people ask me, I'm always like, yo, I'm from Ghana. But I was born in Germany.
As someone who doesn't have much familiarity with German culture or Ghanaian culture, for that matter, what would
Mhm.
you when you're trying to describe the differences and when it comes to your head, and obviously there is a clear difference, but when you describe the differences between the two cultures, what is it that stands out to you?
The respect, because the way we grow up is like you appreciate your elders and you're very respectful when it comes to your elders, right? And yeah, bro, the way you appreciate things. Because me going to Ghana is always bringing me down. Me going to Ghana is like appreciate what you have, like be grateful for what you have. Because the people down there, they don't have as much as I have, but they're so grateful and so believing, it's very, very mad. And that's like something that our culture stands out for. Like the way you appreciate things and the respect and the belief in the things you're doing.
That is the last thing I expected you to talk about is gratefulness as the difference. But it's such a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
difference. I was listening to a
Hmm.
podcast recently and then they were talking about gratefulness and the
Hmm.
need to practice it because it's like,
Hmm.
even in the difficult times, if you can practice gratefulness, you'll find your
Right.
life is significantly better.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Like I can only agree with that because you got to be grateful for those around you that really support and love you because not everybody around you loves you. Not everybody, like not all of them want the best for you. You can be around people that don't really like you. You know, and you can be around them for years, not realizing they don't like you. Until you realize. So right now, I'm heavy on like appreciating because I don't call my friends friends. That's family. Like I don't call my like super close friends. I don't call them, yo, that's my boy, that's my brother. That's my blood. That's how I call them. So I'm super heavy on appreciating that because I'm the type of person that I go an extra mile for you. I go the extra mile for you. Somebody does something to you, he did it to me too. That's how I am. And I'm super grateful for those like who return the favor, like for the mutuality. I'm super grateful for that. And that's something I learned also like in the last 3 years that I can really rely on people. I wasn't doing that a lot, but they came through, and I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah. It's funny. You realize that there are people in your life that are your friends when you're
Mm,
low and when you're down. And then when
right,
you're
right,
successful,
right.
they hate it and they don't like your success. And that is the
Hmm.
most fucked thing to realize. Like as you
Yeah.
grow and for you to like it's good because you have to see the truth, but it's fucked because you
Hmm.
thought that these people were in your corner. Like you thought that like,
Right.
hey, them or ride or die. But no, they actually want you to be
Hmm.
worse. They want you to be like them and they
Yeah,
want you
yeah,
to suffer. But
yeah,
then when you're getting out, they want
yeah,
to try
yeah.
and drag you back. And it's like, this is
Right,
so
right.
weird because it's just outside
Yeah,
of my thinking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. Like, I totally understand and I see it the same way. Like, for me, like, I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to be out there. And sometimes people, they want the same stuff that you have. And that's the problem. But yeah, like I said, like I'm gonna continue wishing everybody the best. I'm gonna continue with that, you know. Bro, that's one thing. My daughter is in the living room. You think we can pause for 1 second?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's pause for 1 second. I gotta go check her. 1 second. I'll be
No
back in one
stress,
second.
man.
1 second. She
Yeah.
was watching TV.
Yeah.
It turned off.
Imagine me telling you, nah, man, cannot go check on your daughter. That no, no, you gotta sit here.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That would
yeah.
never
I was
happen.
about like I was thinking about like bringing her here, but nah. We couldn't talk like we talk now when we she would be here. So
Yeah. Look, as much as I believe in the ability of kids to be entertained, there is no way that she would be entertained in this conversation, as entertaining as it is.
nah, nah, she wouldn't. She would just jump around and be loud and yeah, she
Yeah.
likes that.
How do you keep up? Speaking of, like, how do you keep up having two kids? You're obviously an extremely busy artist. You've got albums that are in the works. Like, how do you juggle it all?
Sometimes I don't even know to be honest. Like, but I have a pretty good partner. Like my wife is doing the most, and she supports me very very much so. it's like a good balance, like when she needs like some time off, I'll do it. And then like we're super good, like we're a good team. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it helps that
So that
you're independent as well. Cause like,
right, right. Sometimes it helps because like if there's not a label pressuring you, you gotta pressure yourself, because you want your stuff to be out. So yeah, you have like there has to be a balance when it comes to work and life, you know. There has to be a good balance.
yeah. Well,
What
funnily enough, I'm actually heading to Germany in January. So
oh really?
yeah, I'm gonna be in Munich
Really?
for a
What you
few
doing?
days.
Oh, okay. Munich is not too close. Like, I thought you were gonna be in Berlin or something. What you doing
No,
out here?
no, I have a corporate career as well. So outside of this,
Oh,
I do okay for myself
uh-huh.
outside of this in the corporate world. So I'm actually
Okay,
going
nice.
over for work. But in the meantime,
Oh,
I'm going to just enjoy a little bit of Europe. Like so,
nice. Yeah,
yeah, Germany,
you should.
Paris, and then London. And then we're heading to Dublin. So
Dope, dope,
yeah,
dope.
although
I was
nah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. What you want to say?
I was just going to talk about how cold it's going to be. I'm mentally not prepared for that.
Yep. German winters, nothing to play with.
Oh, thanks for making me feel a lot better, man.
Yeah, you better bring your hardest and thickest jacket because it's gonna be cold. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, well, I think there is a very simple way to warm myself up, and I'm going to have a couple of drinks to make sure I stay warm.
Yeah, that's one thing you could do. Yeah, that's one thing you could do.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm sure I can survive one winter. Although I tell you what, it is
Yeah,
getting warmer here, and I'm like, oh, I'm leaving the sun and I'm going to cold.
yeah, but you'll make it. Don't worry. Don't worry. You said you're gonna be out there for like 4 days, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I think it's for like 3 days or something in in Munich.
You see, even even 3 days, so that's nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, we'll figure it out. But yeah, how do you? Obviously, you must travel
Yeah.
quite a bit, considering being part of Europe and then the EU. That's the one thing I'm very jealous of is that like you can hop on a plane and next thing you know you're in
Hmm.
a different country. I hop on a plane and I have to travel for another 12
Hmm.
hours to get anywhere else. So
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's kind of cool. Like I was in London and Paris a lot this year because one of my brothers I was helping it with I was helping him with a project. So it was cool. It was cool. Before that, I didn't really like Paris and I didn't really like London because it always depends on who you with. Like who is showing you Paris, who is showing you London. And this year he did a pretty good job. So I'm pretty like in love with London and Paris now. And like I said, I was in Ghana as well this year because like I said, I was working. So yeah, next year is gonna be more of a US situation.
yeah, are you planning a
Right.
tour?
Yeah, I'm planning a tour like after the album, like around like October. Yeah. And I'm looking into like playing shows in like out of Germany as well, like London, Paris, maybe the US as well. But I gotta get my work visa first.
Yeah,
So let's
I
see.
mean, is it too much for
Oh,
me to?
Australia as well.
Yeah, I was gonna
Australia
say,
as
is it
well.
too much for me
Like
to ask?
I was nah, bro. Like I always wanted to go to Australia. I just heard that like you be on plane for like almost 24 hours or something like that when you fly out from Germany. So it's a sacrifice, but I'm willing to make it though.
Hey man,
Like
go business and claim it
I
back
wanna
on
be
tax.
yeah. That's a good idea, actually. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's
see,
a good
we're
idea. But
coming
yeah,
full
man,
circle.
yeah. I really wanna play a show in Australia as well. I heard so much good stuff about Australia. So yeah, I wanna like I'm willing to make that happen as well.
Yeah, well, while you're here, and then you've got New Zealand to hit. man, you're gonna
Hmm.
do a worldwide tour. And then I mean we've got so many cities
Yeah.
that you're gonna hit. But yeah, I think, you know, first comes first. The album has to come out and then the rest. But do you
Right.
have a timeline for the project?
To be honest, like now, like I said, like I'm talking to a few situations, label situations. Still, like it's just gonna be distro, and I want to put it out in the right way, you know. So I was thinking about like March, something like that, but now I just want to put it out in the right way. So I'm gonna release music. I'm not gonna stop releasing music, but the actual album, like I'll see, like as soon as I like talk to somebody, and they're gonna guarantee me like a proper release, you know, that's when like I'm gonna be like, okay, this is gonna be the date, you know, that's when I'm gonna drop the date. But it's done, like I said, it's done. It just has to be put out in the right way.
Yeah. Get the music videos going, get the press, get
Right,
the hype.
right, exactly. That's what I'm about right now.
Well, what I noticed that was interesting was like seeing your evolution as an artist of like where
Hmm.
you, as you said, you were focused on your cadence, on just uh, feeling and sounding hard, and now you've kind of transitioned into melodic and really substance based music. Was that an active decision to move in that direction?
I think it just happened. Like I'm still when it comes to hard music, when it comes to hard songs, I'm still gonna do that. I'm still gonna flex with the flow and with the skills. You know, I'm still gonna do that. But the momentum right now is just to put honesty into the music. You know, and just to put growth into the music. Like right now, the momentum right now is like I'm a father. I got two kids. You know, and I just want to talk about what happened in the last 2 years, 3 years. So it's gonna be like a bit more calm and a bit more honest, less flex, you know. But I'm still gonna flex on music though. I'm still gonna like do that hard stuff and then not 91 flex type of music, but I'm still gonna do that, you know. Not just like just not on that project, especially. Yeah,
Yeah, 24 flex now.
yeah, 24 flex. 91 flex was actually because I was born in 91.
Oh, there you go. I was
Yeah,
wondering how old you were. It's hard to tell. You never know with artists.
yeah. I'm as old as you want me to be. That's what I like keep telling everybody. Like, but in real life, I'm 32.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm turning 30 soon. I'm very scared.
No,
See, it's
don't be.
funny.
Don't be. 30.
I- I'm turning 30 and you're
Uh-huh.
32 and I look 1,000 times older than you.
Bro, you just gotta take care of yourself. When you don't look 1,000 times older than me, bro. You don't look 1,000 times. Like once I start to grow my beard and stuff, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you look like 40." So don't worry about that. It's just me like keeping my baby face.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the moisturizer these days. I gotta like not let the wrinkles kick in, like that kind of shit. But I do agree, the beard definitely makes me look older. The problem is I've looked like this
You
since I was
see,
like 16.
you see. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. You don't look old though. You don't look
Nah,
old. Don't
see,
worry.
I'm going for the other thing, which is I'm hoping that eventually I catch up to my age and then my age continues and I still look the same. So I want to look the same for
Oh, you
like
will.
40 years. That's the goal. And then they're like, hey, man, you've never changed.
Yeah, don't worry. You will. Don't worry. You gotta claim it. You gotta claim it. Speak it into existence. Don't worry about that. You're gonna look like you. You'll be good. Don't worry.
I need you in my life more often, man. The positivity that I'm getting, I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel so much better now. Like, oh, I can go about my day. All is good.
Bro, don't worry. I'll give you my number. Call me whenever you need motivation. I'll do that. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm
That's what
like,
I'm here for.
man, I'm tired today. And you'd be like, get your ass up. You can do it. Like, you got it, man.
Yeah,
Believe it into existence. I love that shit. Are
yeah, bro. Don't worry. I got you. I got you.
you the motivator for a lot of people in your life?
To be honest, I think I am. Like now you're like now that you mention it, I think I am because like a lot of people call me for advice, and I'm always like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you know. So yeah, I think I am. I think I am because like I said, like I want everybody around me to win. Like if you win, I win. So yeah, I think I am.
Do you like that responsibility? Do you like being the one who gets people up?
It depends. Sometimes I like it, but I can't help it, like, but to feel like I signed up for it in some way. I don't even know why, but at some point in my life, somebody called me and it just got around, like it just now everybody calls me, now everybody's like, but it's fine. Like as long as I know I can help people with it, and as long as I know like I've done something to make somebody feel better, it's fine. I'm good with that. Like
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with that.
It's interesting how you were
Yeah.
like, oh, it just happened and now it's just it. Like that's just
Yeah, it's just it. Yeah, it's literally just like it just happened. Like now it's just, oh, bro, this and that happened, and I'm gonna like I would listen to that person. I'm like, yeah, this and that, this and that, and then like the next person calls me, yeah, this and that happened. But the good thing is that the people that call me, like I said, they are like family, and I can like it's mutual. I can vent like that as well, so it's a mutual thing.
yeah. What annoys me on the
Right.
other flip side, because I find myself naturally motivating as well, and I can get rant, find a speech somewhere. I can off the top just go into a rant and figure out a way to make you feel better about yourself. But what drives me crazy is when I've already done that and then I
Hmm.
have to do it again and again to the same person about the same thing. And I'm like, man, come on. Like, you don't need me
Yeah.
anymore. That's a you problem now. You got to take accountability because, like, I already told you what you needed to hear. You just didn't do it.
You know what? One thing I've learned about that is that you tell the person once, and then you just let the person go about that day. The person has to make that experience. The person has to fall down. That's what's going to make the person learn. At the end of the day, you just be there. You just keep being a friend. That's how I learned it. Because I felt like I was there too, to be honest. And I felt like every time when I told that person or this person, you got to do it like this and that, and the person wouldn't listen, I felt like, bro, how are you getting me pissed off? You know? But I understood that they have to learn on their own. They have to understand. Because if you tell them, sometimes they don't understand it. And if that means they gotta crash the car against the wall, then that's that. As long as they learn, the baddest thing that can happen to them is them not learning. So as long as they learn, I'm fine with that. I'm still gonna be here, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I just hope that you learned something out of it, that you gained something out of that experience. That's the only thing I'm caring about at that point. Because other than that, like if you don't do it like that, you're gonna go mad, bro. You're gonna go crazy
Yeah.
yourself. So yeah, just be there when they need you. You tell them once, you let them go about that day, you let them go do experience and everything, and after that, you're still gonna be there. That's how I do it.
Yeah. Well, that is what I do now is like, you get one shot and
Trust me.
and if you come to me
Trust
for
me.
help, I will help you. But if you don't
Right.
accept my help or if you brush it off, it's like, okay. That's fine. That's your choice. But
Right.
then you have
That's
to live with the
right.
consequences of that.
Right. 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 We always got to live with the consequences. And if we're like really about learning, if we're really about growth, the consequences is what's going to make us learn. You know, sometimes it takes a consequence to make you learn to understand. And the most important thing for you to learn is you got to understand. You know, and like I said, that's the problem. Like sometimes you would give advice to people, and they say they understand, but they don't. That's why they always go back to that one situation you told them to stay away from. So experience, man, experience.
Yeah. And
They
there's
gotta
something
learn.
weird about us as humans. We need to make mistakes and fuck up. And like, we have to have a bit of suffering and pain for us to learn the lessons. Because if we don't do that, we're just going to be
You
like,
know what?
we just won't learn.
We, you know what? It's like I feel like there are like two types of person. One person is very attentive and observes a lot. One person just has to make experience to learn. I'm the type of person, and that's something I had to learn because back then I wasn't as patient as I am now, and that's something I had to learn that um pay attention, pay attention to everything that happens around you. because I feel like life is a test, you know? And every situation that happens around you, if it's your brother, your sister, doesn't matter. Every situation that somebody goes through and you're like have the privilege to be part of is a lesson for you. You don't got to go through that same situation if you already like have the privilege to observe and learn out of it. You know, so that's how I am. Like I had to learn that. I had to learn that, okay, if this person goes to that situation, I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to pay attention on how the person got out of it, you know? And then I'm going to stay out of it because I already had the privilege to be part of that situation, to witness that situation, you know? So, yeah, bro, it takes like a lot of patience and you really got to be attentive
Yeah. Well, that's why I
and that
think
keeps you out of
history
trouble.
is so important. That's why I'm like, all the lessons of the past you
Right,
have to look at because,
right,
like, history
right,
is doomed to repeat itself. But I genuinely believe it's only doomed to repeat itself if you don't learn the lessons of the past and you make the
right,
same mistakes
right,
those people
right,
made. Like, it drives me
right.
crazy. I'm like, guys, read a fucking book. Please just read one book about
Mm-hmm,
that and you'll be like, oh no,
mm-hmm.
that shit already happened. It doesn't work that way. It works a different way.
Right, right. That's it. It's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
It should be easy. If you want to learn though, but it should be easy.
Yeah. Y'all listening, see, it's easy. It's easy. Serious Klein approved. It is easy. Well, man,
Oh
I only
man.
have one more question for you. And easy as that. See,
Hmm.
one more question. It's the only question that I plan on the show. It's probably the toughest question I'm going to ask you. But if you
Hmm.
had to recommend one album that everybody should listen to at least once to get an appreciation of, can be any genre
Oh
of
man.
music and cannot be your own music, what would it be?
Why are you doing this to me, man?
Man, because
This is
no,
super hard.
yeah, nothing but love and gratitude.
Come on. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta like I
Yeah,
really
you're
gotta
allowed to
think.
think. I'm not gonna,
Um,
the stopwatch isn't coming up where I'm gonna time you, but yeah, take your time. Talk me through your process. There's no bad answer.
um, obviously there would have been like way more albums that I always circle back to. But if there's like one particular album that I always listen to and that affected me the most, oh man. All right, if I got to choose one, it's gonna be man, this is hard. This is super hard.
Remember, it doesn't
This
have
is
to be
super
the
hard.
best album of all time. It's just one that you think everyone should listen to and appreciate. I take the pressure off. It doesn't have to be the best album.
All right, all right. Okay, cool. To Pimp a Butterfly. To
Kendrick
Pimp a
Lamar.
Butterfly. Yeah, K Dot. To Pimp a Butterfly. Because I feel like when he dropped that one, it made a lot of people think. He dropped it in the right momentum. It was the right time to drop this album. And everything he spoke about, like him like kind of being the savior of everything and the responsibility and racial profiling, police brutality, the way we work with all of this as Black people, and his standpoint on like depression and everything he's going through, you know, it was like it was epic. You know, it changed so much for me, you know. So yeah, I gotta go with that. There's like one particular song that always works for me. One particular song, and that's hold on, what's the name again? Mortal Man. Yeah, yeah, Mortal Man is like that's my song.
What does it
That's
do for
like
you? Why that song?
um that like why that song is like it's pretty easy because the last 3 years like showed the true colors of a lot of people that I used to be with, you know. And the one question you ask is like, if shit hits the fan, is you still a fan? You still gonna be around when everything changes? When it's not like when it doesn't feel like a high anymore? You're still gonna be around. Still gonna be around when I fuck up. You're still gonna be around, you know. So That's how I felt. I felt like at the lowest point, I felt alone. So that one question like that's already it. Like if shit hits the fan, is you still a fan? You know. So yeah, I always go back to that one because I feel like for somebody like him to talk about this and then he went through like through stuff like that, it's like, all right, yeah, that's the one song that I really go back to like every year. Yeah,
Love it, man.
to Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Also, also like when it comes to the culture, like what this album has done culturally, bro, it's epic. It's one of the craziest K Dot albums ever.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. If shit hits the fan, are you still going to be a fan? I'm going to start using that. I'm going to start
Yeah,
using that because of you. So, hey, man, you know, I'm getting wisdom from this podcast. I hope everybody else is getting wisdom from this as well. But man, absolute pleasure to have you come through, the one and only Serious Klein.
thank you.
Everybody, make sure you check out his most recent Colors performance, Peekaboo, that came out. It's so good. As you heard, he's actually got 3 Colors performances in total. So he's one of the veterans of Colors. So if you ever have any doubt who helped promote it, was this man right here. But obviously, you've got music that came out this year. White Knight and Up also came out, singles. Up, awesome music video as well that came out. So
Thank you.
everybody else, please make sure you check it out. And man, I'm looking forward to your album, hopefully next year at some point. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
me and all your fans are really looking forward to it. But is there anything you wanted to shout out? Anything you wanted to plug?
And thanks for having me, bro. That's all I can say. Like, there's music coming, and we're working. That's it.